What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Irate Playhouse, and we are continuing our Uncharted adventure.
Yeah.
Where we were fighting Nadine.
And Sam's getting his ass kicked right now.
Yep.
And we're not. Well, I mean, we were, but we're out here now. We're about to go get our ass kicked. Yeah, look at that physics. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Where's Stephen Hawking when you need him?
That's the way. That's the way things work, right? You saw that he was like not miles, but he was very good distance away from that platform, but he just went.
But gravity all of a sudden shifted and and propelled him forward for his heroic hand grab. So last episode we were talking about E3 predictions.
Yep.
And I think we should continue with that because at least it gives us something to talk about other than the game, because I know most of you don't want to just hear us describe what's going on in the game.
They're talking. They're pointing guns.
They're talking more.
This
That's
guy's
the bad
name
guy.
Is Rafe.
This is Rafe.
Rafe, yeah.
Rafe.
But with Xbox, I think what they don't have Call of Duty anymore, because usually that's what I would say about an Xbox.
They have Battlefield now.
Yeah, that's right. They just completely switched.
Exactly, they switched. Battlefield went over to Xbox. Call of Duty went over to PlayStation.
Imagine if they announced, since Ubisoft is part of the Xbox team, kind of, because like the Division and stuff has gotten like DLC early. I would have laughed, and I think the fan base would kill them if they sat there and they said the Division 2 teaser trailer, and it says 2017 on that. I think that would piss off a lot of people.
Probably.
But I'm curious about, when it comes to Ubisoft, I want to hear about their Ghost Recon Wildfire. I want to see that game. Wildlands, there you go. I want to see that game because it's a 4-player co-op shooter, open world, South America, possibly around the world. They're saying you go to different places, and it looks like a fun game. I'm really excited about it.
Marcus claims he's never heard of.
What?
Wildlands.
That was in the last E3.
I know that.
They gave that like quick tease, not a quick tease, but a little bit of gameplay.
He says he's never heard of it.
Wow.
I find that hard to believe, but you know, whatever. That's what he says.
The other game that I want to see a little bit more this year, that no one talks about it, because it was Honor something, Your Honor.
Oh, For Honor.
For Honor, the one that was in Ubisoft where it was about the sword fighting.
The fighting game, yeah.
Yes, that looks cool, but we just have not heard about it since E3 of last year.
That was it.
Like that game, I just thought about it right now, and I'm just sitting there like, wait a minute, there was a game that they announced that I really thought was cool, but I just haven't heard anything about it.
It's like I looked at my watch and it says it's 1/2 For Honor.
I was like,
and I haven't seen a single bit of information.
I hope we see more of that. Granted, we saw a lot of gameplay. We saw like a bunch of fights. You go through time, it seems, with different sword styles and stuff like that.
There's different. It's like different kind of like factions, like samurais and stuff like that. I don't.
Apparently, there's going to be a multiplayer. Because remember in that
that's
trailer,
what the game is. The game is multiplayer.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I want to play that game. I really do.
I mean, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good. It's going to be hard to do because that game, there is a lot of parrying allowed. There's a lot. It is a very good, like, I don't want to say simulation of a sword fighting game, but it's not your traditional fighting game. It's not a like fighter in the sense of I could play Soul Calibur the same way I would play For Honor.
No, you get killed.
This looks interesting. A more realistic way to do a fight. So that I want to see. For Honor definitely looks like fun. And we're finding out the truth.
Oh snap! Oh, plot twist. There's your plot twist, folks.
M. Night Shyamalan did it again. It's a twist. A twist.
Except this is a good twist.
No, the twist is that you are secretly the Avatar, and this all takes place within the one universe of Shyamalan. Shyamalan.
With all the Indian actors.
Yep.
That don't smile ever.
Yep. It all connected.
They don't smile, stats. Nobody smiles in that movie.
And then when you were going through that one level in this game where you saw a weird circle in the middle of all the grass, it's also connected to signs. Yes, I know.
Hey, look.
It's all connected to aliens.
It's all connected to signs because you passed that one part that looked like a big plantation being like just flattened. It's all connected, and then all of a sudden something happened, and it kept happening. And you know what? Then it turns out that we're connected to the happening because a lot of things started happening in this game. And then you're gonna have Mark Wahlberg come up and just go,
back.
Guys, take an interest in science.
Trees, they're fighting back.
Then you could have the hot dog guy come in out of nowhere during this cutscene and go, wait, guys.
Wait.
Do you guys like hot dogs?
The hot dog guy. What are you talking
From the
about?
happening.
I've only seen it once, so I don't really remember
The
it.
guy that was obsessed with wieners. He sat there and he kept talking about, guys, hot dogs get a bad rap. You know, they're round, they're a unique shape, and you put them in a bun and you eat them.
Is there
Come
really
on,
a character
hot
in that
dogs.
movie like that? Stats is nodding. I really don't even remember. I've seen it once, so
And
I
then-
don't have a very good
And then
memory
after
of it.
we find out that something is happening, there's one big final reveal. We wake up at the end of this game, and you're Bruce Willis,
And you're dead.
the kid looks at you and goes, "I see dead people." Bruce Willis is dead. It all connected. There you go. Greatest
Well, I'm dead
movie.
now.
And Nate should be dead.
greatest movie trilogy or movie/game franchise ever. It all
Speaking
connected.
of dead shit, Nate should be dead.
You're
Yeah.
about to be in like 5 seconds. You brought up the one thing I told you never to bring up
Yeah,
again.
no, fuck you. He brought
Ever.
it up.
Well,
he
you-
brought it up.
Well, you talked about it.
I
so
did
there-
talk about it,
ergo
but he
you die with
brought it
them.
up. He should die first, then me, and Marcus, by some miracle,
wonder
gets
who-
spared. 'cause he's not here.
I wonder who found you. Someone that had blonde hair. I
You
don't
didn't
know.
see her head.
I saw her hair. You didn't see her hair there when you did that?
No, there was
Didn't
no
you see her
hair.
head?
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
I was paying attention when I first played it, but I was looking at everybody.
Yeah, now we're going back in time.
Anyway, going back to Marky Mark real quick.
Take an
Before we
interest in
before we go
science.
back to E3. Now, did you see that they revealed Michael Bay revealed Bumblebee's car form for the next
Is
Transformers?
it going to be another Corvette or a
No,
Camaro
of course it's
or
another
something?
Camaro, but it's actually really nice.
What is it?
It's still I think it's 2016, but it's custom built and it
Oh.
looks really nice.
Oh, of
Stats,
course.
throw that picture up on screen.
Yeah.
It's simple. Just get it off of Michael Bay's Twitter.
Go
It's a
fuck
fucking
yourself.
5-second job.
Go fuck yourself.
But that should
Back
be
to E3.
that but yeah.
Back to For Honor. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
For Honor sounds very cool, looks
Mhm.
very cool,
Mhm.
and I hope to God that we see more of it this one instead of Watch Dogs 2, because in all honesty, I don't want to talk about Watch Dogs unless they did something. One thing that I really hate about the first one was the
Graphical downgrade.
not just that. I don't give a shit about graphics at the end of the day. If they're nice, they're nice, but if the game is good, the game is good. But
Give me your hand.
I was more angry at the fact that the gameplay was very dull and the shooting was very dull. And then what made it even worse was every time I had to drive a car, which was a major point in that game, it was god awful. They did not know how to not animate, but make a graphic. What's the word I'm looking for? A car
Physics.
car physics for when you're driving. It was very bad. You would
Which-
drive in that game and it felt awful.
Which Ubisoft then showed off again that they have no idea what car physics are when they made The Crew.
Yes, that was. Yeah,
Well,
that
well,
was.
What was the donkey joke about about Watch Dogs? This
Right.
game's physics were programmed by a gay rattlesnake.
Oh yeah,
There's a picture of George Lopez.
yeah. And here's the thing about the Crew. I love Need for Speed, the new game, and there is rubber banding in it, and it's annoying. But the Crew had even worse rubber banding. There was rubber banding there that you would be driving a car that was souped up to the maximum, and all of a sudden, nope, I'm constantly in front of you. There's no chance you're coming up in front until the very end to make it more dramatic. And
They
it
put
was
rubber
bad.
banding on my rubber banding so the AI could rubber band while they rubber band.
Yep. Because that game, that was probably if we had this channel back when the Crew came out, that probably would have been on my list of like most disappointing games. Because the Crew was just, my God, I had so much hype for that. I was like, yo, I could drive all over Manhattan. It's gonna be cool. The customization looks sick. Turns out most of the cars are so goddamn expensive. You're gonna end up having to use the microtransactions to buy most of them. And then the graphics were, granted, I understood the graphics probably had to compensate for the fact that the world was so big, and that was understandable. But the graphics still weren't even on par for even that. I was like, my God, you couldn't do anything? You couldn't fix, granted, the graphics on your car specifically were fine, but the
world
game
around
itself
you
was ugly. It was a nasty looking game. If anything, if you wanted, like, don't make it the whole United States. You could have just made it a large state. If you wanted to really make the scale huge, make it a big state. Let me be able to race in all over California. Do that. And at least keep the graphics nice.
Yeah, but then they might be accused of like copying Turn 10 with like Forza
Oh.
Horizons and Forza Horizons 2.
Oh, well, I don't know if Forza Horizon owns the idea for taking a life
know
city
that.
and driving around it.
But that's just the way people think. is what I'm getting at.
But it was a very cool idea. It was just something that they did not execute great. I don't want to see them do a racing game again because the mechanics for that game weren't like awful as bad as Watch Dogs.
No.
Oh man, driving in Watch Dogs. But the crew was at least enjoyable when it came to driving, but just
everything else, not so much.
My God,
Racing.
always online is
Yep.
another thing that's really ruining a lot of games. Yeah, you couldn't pause, but that's also ruining a lot of games in general. Like a game that shouldn't be always online is a racing game because there are large single player elements to racing games that there is no need to constantly be online. If the server is off, okay, the server is off. Just take it out of MMO mode where I could see everybody, driving and seeing their avatars and stuff. Take that off, fine. I can't see them. Big whoop. I could still go around and do normal missions that I could normally do that don't require a network connection.
Nope, always online. Server's down. You can't play. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's like what happened with Need for Speed. You would be playing Need for Speed, and all of a sudden one day you go to play it. Oh, look, the servers are down for maintenance. Now I have a paperweight. That's great.
Now I'm going to put this finger up.
Yeah, why do I need a network connection for a game like Need for Speed where, as you saw from us playing it, it's mostly just a bunch of events on a map.
Single player.
Yeah, single-player events on a map that you can go up against AI. There's no need for a network connection. The only reason why there's a network connection for that is because you can see other people racing in your world and just driving. It's not like there's many modes or anything crazy you could do in Need for Speed. You could go up to them and challenge them. Oh, okay. I can live without that for a little bit while your servers are gone. The fact that you have to be always online in the new Need for Speed ruins it. Granted, their server is doing better and it's on a lot more, but the days where it is off, it's retarded because you're sitting there just going, oh, I can't play my game that I paid for. Eventually, that might happen to Overwatch at some point. That's another thing. That's why, again, I couldn't give it an A anywhere in the A's because I knew that this game has no content when it comes to I don't have online. I can't do anything with this. So some ignorant person could just go out there and get this game and not know that this was just an online game. And they'll sit there and they go, I just spent $60 on a game that I can't play.
And I know there's a lot of people out there who might watch this and say, "Oh, people aren't that stupid."
There might be somebody,
they are.
somebody who isn't like scenario. You're an older person. You're in your 50s, and you have a grandson that likes video games. He has a PS4. You don't know if he has online or not. You're not thinking that much about it. You just see a cool game with a cool cover that looks like fun. You sit there. You get it for your grandkid. You give it to him, but then you find out he doesn't connect to online. And he goes, Grandpa, I went to go play this game.
I can't play it.
Can't play it because I don't have online. You just spent $60 on a game that you can't play. Granted, you could return it. But still, the fact that you bought a $60 game and you cannot play it.
Because it requires a connection that is constant.
It's stupid. And it's not like Overwatch is a bad game. It's a fun-ass game. It's a game that you'll be playing hours and hours and hours and hours on. Granted, their loot boxes are not very kind.
Nope.
I have been the only ones that are kind are when you buy like the $20 packets or actually buy a loot box. Sometimes, at least when you buy a huge bundle, you'll have a chance of getting a bunch of nice stuff. But if you do it from leveling up, I keep getting sprays and more sprays and player icons and occasionally a skin for a character I don't give a shit about.
I want costumes, goddammit.
Yeah.
It's a Polaroid.
But
imagine if this game needed an online connection constantly.
If Uncharted did that, it'd be like, why?
And Stats killed himself.
Just like the person who sat there and said, let's give Uncharted a multiplayer.
Hey,
why?
hey, Uncharted's multiplayer got much better with 3.
It
and
did
it's
get
actually
better.
It's actually really good in this game.
But again, it just
is it
feels
pointless?
Like, yes.
Yes. I'm
didn't
not even going to deny that it's pointless. That's why it doesn't take itself seriously.
No.
Ever. At any point. Any of the dialogue that you're in the multiplayer, it in no way takes itself seriously. They know it's pointless, but people still play it because it's still actually quite enjoyable.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's better than Assassin's Creed multiplayer. Assassin's Creed multiplayer was literally just, here you go.
Assassin's Creed multiplayer was, depending on how good you were,
it was
actually
not
no. There was no being good at Assassin's Creed multiplayer.
There was no you were supposed to be stealthy, and they would encourage you to be stealthy.
But half the time, the people that you were going up against weren't being stealthy, and they were getting rewarded for it.
Yeah, they were just running around killing each other when it's like that's not what assassins do.
You have to go up, by the way. Yeah.
But because of the smoke grenade, because of this, because of that, they would just sit there and just run around and
because
do
of
whatever the hell they
poison.
wanted.
Like
Yeah.
poison, I think was the only thing that was actually stealthy about the multiplayer.
You
in
would
that
stick
game.
up to somebody, poison them, and then run away.
And then walk away like nothing happened.
Yeah, with a game like that, you shouldn't have multiplayer.
No.
But since we're talking about Ubisoft again, and I'm thinking about multiplayer, I gotta admit the multiplayer aspect to Watch Dogs. Well, we did that for a while.
It was annoying.
It wasn't terrible idea.
It was annoying when they let's face it, it was basically like Dark Souls multiplayer.
Yeah.
You get invaded.
It was what do they call it? Asynchronous multiplayer.
I don't know.
I think that's the term for it when you have a game that is single player,
but
doesn't
has
have
a
a
multiplayer
competitive
aspect
but
in your single player.
Yeah, I think it's called asynchronous, and it was a cool idea. 'Cause I remember you guys having a good time invading people or having to find the
That's
guy
when it
who
was fun.
invaded you.
Invading people is fun.
Yeah,
When you're invaded, it's not fun then.
and also that game also was very easy because of the fact that you had so much money because you would walk around and get those perks that you would get as you level up for find more money, get more money.
Well, same thing.
And then you could just hack into every person in the city and go money, 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 ATM, money, 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 person to money, money, money.
Well, same thing with Assassin's Creed. You could be loaded after like.
But Grant, that
5
one
hours
took a
playing
little bit longer
Mhm.
because you actually had to run around and buy a store, buy this store, invest into that store, pickpocket people, sell things. That took time and effort. But Watch Dogs, like I said, you're walking across the street, you just go, I need $100.
Mhm.
Money, 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 money. ATM, money, 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 money. I have $1 million.
I can keep going if I want to.
Yeah, and that's what everyone would
And
do.
I want to. So
That's
I'm
what
going
I
to keep
would-
going.
That's what I would do in that game. I would constantly sit there and just walk around the street just going, money, 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 money. And I was like a billionaire within like a day of playing the game because it was so simple to get cash. And like the amount of the outfits you got in, quote unquote outfits you got in that game were not really that different. It was really just a different color of the original trench coat and mask. Okay, I think sometimes it would change the hat, and then sometimes it would change the type of jacket. But overall, it wasn't anything crazy.
That
Which
was
is
most of the time. That was most of the time in Assassin's Creed too.
yeah.
Was
But
you just
luckily,
changing the color of your robe.
I will commend them for Assassin's Creed Unity, even though it was very glitchy. I will commend them for the fact that you could actually customize your assassin. You could customize what's his name in that Arno.
No, I thought Arno was Syndicate.
No, that's
Arno is
Is
Unity.
Arno Unity?
Yeah, when you could customize him, you get different types of hoods. You could get different types of face mask, different types of chest pieces. And your assassin, at the end of the day, he looked rather different, and it looked cool. I liked that a lot. I enjoyed that aspect of the game. So I was hoping that in Watch Dogs you could do something similar to that. Oh, wait, did Watch Dogs come out after
No,
Unity?
Watch Dogs was before Unity. I
Okay,
think.
so it was before. But when I played Unity, I was thinking about it in Watch Dogs. Like, man, if they did this with Assassins, they could have done this in Watch Dogs. This would have been so cool. This would have been awesome with a more modern,
Especially
game.
considering what's his name? What is his name in Watch Dogs again?
It was that forgettable.
No, it was.
You know, I just called him a hacker. That's how I remember him. Hacker with a hat on.
All I remember is that he's a modern day assassin.
He's not working for the Assassins.
He's not working for the assassins, but he kills a target for the assassins in the game.
the CEO in Black Flag,
Mhm.
the French guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kills him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, he's one of
Okay.
the guys that gets killed.
Hmm.
So he is.
Because remember, he goes to Chicago.
Oh
That's-
yes.
that-
Yep.
and they say they can't find him anywhere. Well, that's because fucking what's his name killed him.
Okay. That's interesting.
So he doesn't, work,
For the
directly
assassins.
with the assassins.
But he has killed for the assassins through a
Yes.
contract.
Bitch got a gun. But
This part of the game made me cry. Not gonna lie, this scene made me cry.
Ah, wow. Well, I don't blame you for that. It was a very good story. This part was very touching.
The entire story to this game was fantastic.
Yeah. Granted, I was surprised that there was no big woohoo at the
No,
at the
no
end.
big
It was-
spiritual.
This was the
or-
most realistic
Mhm.
of the Uncharted games, which was slightly disappointing, but not bad. I didn't hate it. Obviously, I gave the game an A+, but I was sitting there going, man, I was hoping for something, just something to be the twist. It just seems tradition. End of every Uncharted, something's fucked
Something
up.
supernatural has to go wrong.
Yeah, and the fact that that didn't happen in this, I was like, whoa.
There was no supernatural twist in Golden Abyss either.
Really?
Now I think about it.
At least let him go.
I
Or
never-
was there?
I don't know. You're the only one that played it.
I
Oh,
never
that's right.
played
You
Golden
didn't play it
Abyss.
either.
Nothing to do with this.
I think it had something to do with the gold. Actually,
I'm telling you,
I think
this is all on me.
Probably did.
I think it did have something to do with the gold.
Your mother.
Hmm.
It was like cursed or something.
Well, our
Poisonous.
timer is going off, but do you guys want to let this cutscene play first and then end it, or do you want to pause it in the middle of this? It's up to you guys. We could just let this
No,
play.
Let this play out.
Okay.
It's not a particularly long cutscene, but it's a very emotionally hard-hitting one.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to E3 while we're letting this go by, because we keep getting sidetracked
The
from
big-
E3.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
probably
we
gonna have to talk
keep
about it
talking
again
about
next
other
episode.
games and stuff like that. We keep talking about all kinds of different cool games that might be there. They're saying Injustice 2. There's a big rumor about that. The big the next thing that NetherRealm is dealing with is Injustice 2. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's good, but I mean, I don't know what the story's going to be for that one. I mean, they already did the whole arc of Superman becoming the big bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the next one going to be about? I don't know what would cause the superheroes to have to fight each other again.
Batman becomes the big bad.
Batman becomes evil, and he takes super drugs to become super awesome and be awesome. Drugs, because that was the whole story of Injustice. That's how they managed to handle themselves. They would take super kryptonite drug, and then they would become strong. That's how they managed. The Joker did it. He was able to fight Superman. We had Harley do it. She was able to fight Superman. That was the whole explanation for why every time one of the characters punched Superman, he was bleeding. It was because they took super drugs. So if you want to become just as strong as Superman, take the green,
drugs, kids.
take the super green rock.
We promote drugs, kids.
Just break a rock, break a green rock, melt it down, and then there you go. You'll become just as strong as Superman. Because God, everyone wants to be just like him, a douche. But
Drugs kill celebrities, but we promote them on this show. Prince died to opiates, but we promote them on this show.
well, I didn't say any.
Is that actually
any,
confirmed?
Yes, that
Okay.
is confirmed. Prince died to opiates.
well, I didn't say opium. I said I said a
Opiates,
fake thing.
not opium.
I said
Opiates
I
are
was promoting a
painkillers.
fake thing. I was
No, I know.
promoting.
I'm not actually promoting prescription painkillers.
I don't know what you're trying to sell, man. What are you selling?
What
are
are
you
you
buying? Yeah, everybody who likes Resident Evil 4,
Wait
the
for
game.
Wait for it. That's too low. What is that one from? I can't remember.
I don't
That's
know.
not Resident Evil.
That's
It's
too low.
it's from Star Fox. Star Fox Adventures. The one that
Ah,
Rare made that no one liked because it was different. Going back
gotcha.
to that conversation.
Yeah. But do you think there's going to be any surprises with Microsoft? Any new game that you could think of? I mean, we have Gears. We said maybe Halo Wars 2.
Maybe a main
Battlefield 1.
Maybe a main Halo teaser at
Hmm.
most.
Do you think we'll see Crackdown 2?
I was gonna bring that up actually. Where is Crackdown 3?
Oh, Crackdown 3. Sorry, I said Crackdown
yeah,
2.
there's Crackdown,
Sorry.
there's Crackdown 2. Those were both.
Because
on
that
the
game looked
360.
awesome. That game looked amazing. The fact that I could blow up
An
buildings,
entire
and cities
fucking
and
city could go.
But they
dead,
said that
boom.
the reason why I read an article about this where they had to take time to go back to it and fix it up because they said it was causing a problem on the console version
Of course
or
it
something
was.
to try and make it run where it was just all buildings were connected to their own server, so they were able to do that. So they're saying in the multiplayer you probably can't do that, but maybe in the single player you could do destruction. I think that's the way it worked.
Mhm.
Don't quote me, but I'm excited about Crackdown 3 if they make that whole shit work. Because, man, I'm going to be excited to blow up an entire skyscraper for no goddamn reason.
Honestly, that was the only thing that impressed me about Microsoft's conference last year.
Yeah.
Was that game?
Better than
just-
when they first talked about the Kinect. Remember when they first introduced that, the big
I don't,
project?
and I don't want to
I
remember.
remember when they did that because the whole thing they were trying to promote was this thing called Milo, and it was a AI that you could talk to, have a life with, and be friends with, and he would talk to you and stuff like that.
You know, I don't remember that
Yep,
at all.
I remember. Everybody remember that guy? Anyone who remembers Milo? My name's Milo. Be my friend. Talk to me over the camera. You would draw something. The Kinect would scan it. He would actually get it in the game. So, yeah, you could actually make friends with him. But, Yeah, guys,
We've
now
reached
that you
the end of this episode,
now that you saw nice
and we'll
revealing
continue
cutscene.
talking about E3 shit because there's just so much shit that has to do with E3 for us to talk about.
Yep. See you guys.
Next time, bye-bye.
Bye.